You're listening to the Yes, I'm Still Sober podcast with John Rabin. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Yes, I'm Still Sober podcast. This is John Rabin. Once again, we're in episode 85. This is take 4, maybe, for me. I know it doesn't sound like it because anybody who's listened to my podcast before go, you know, there's lots of, you've got like dead spaces and sometimes you go, too much and you don't seem to edit that out. Why would you do multiple takes? Because it's really easy at the beginning to just stop it and start over. Just like, nope, delete. Let's start it again. Nope, try it again. Because I'll do that. I'll just sit there and I'll go, hey, welcome to the no mulligan. I'll just do that a lot. But anyway, thanks for joining me. Hope you're doing all right. Hoping you're keeping yourself sober and or sane, depending on what you're dealing with. I am doing fine. I'm not yet concerned about coronavirus, but I did want to talk about something that I noticed just because I did a lot of research on it because it was bugging me, because I kept seeing like everybody in China wearing a mask and just a surgical mask, right? And then you see people, and you're seeing people like even here in Austin, Texas, you see people wearing them out. There's somebody, and you know, they may be doing that because of the flu as well. But I have a neighbor in my apartment complex somewhere downstairs who has worn a mask, or she wore a mask for like 2 weeks recently. And it was one of those things that it was more, not, I wasn't trying to be judgy, but it was more kind of unsettling. Like, do you know something I don't know? Like, are you doing this because you yourself are sick and you're protecting me? Or should you be telling me something? Like, I feel like you're like, do you have knowledge that I do not? Is there a reason? Are you a hypochondriac, or is some shit going down in this city that I'm not aware of? Like, that's kind of was my feeling with seeing her. So my deal is that there is like a massive shortage in surgical masks and respirators right now, because people are buying a lot of them and stocking up, much like when we had locally we had an issue with our water supply, possibly. You know, it was not like confirmed, but you know, just to be safe, they were saying to boil water, and rather than boil water, people went out and bought all the bottled water in the city, like all of it. And it was weird because, you know, I was like seeing like college bros with 72 pack of bottled water. I'm like, you guys don't fucking drink water. You don't drink water. You drink Lone Star and that's it. Like you drink your Bud Light, and that's, you know, which might as well be your water. But there's no way a college student drinks even a bottle of water a day. Certainly not a, you know, a beer can crushing bro. It was just weird. It's just like, you goddamn hoarders. But that's what's happening. They're buying all the masks so that actual people who need them, you know, healthcare professionals in different places, like there's a huge shortage in the Bay Area for healthcare professionals who are actually dealing with quarantine and people with coronavirus in different quarantines, and they, you know, they're having shortages. So I just wanted to mention something that I've noticed that I felt was true. And I looked it up, and it was true. You know, a lot of times you think you feel something that's true, and it's really just your feeling. But this I kind of figured out just because out of common sense, because I was sitting there going, how the fuck does a mask, of that, with that fabric, how's that going to save you from a virus? Does that even do anything? And the answer is no. No, it doesn't. Quit hoarding masks. You might as well walk around with your shirt over your nose. The whole idea of the surgical mask is they protect from it protects like when a healthcare professional is like in surgery or dealing with an open wound area or something like that, so that they don't sneeze or cough or anything. That's going to, it's going to cover that. It's not going to protect you from anything. If you're sick, by all means, wear a mask. But, I mean, if anything, what you want is called an N95 respirator. And it's called an N95 because it filters at least 95% of airborne particles. So that's what it is. So it's 95%. So it's called an N95 respirator. And if you see them, you see why it's effective, because they're hard to breathe through. It's uncomfortable. Most people don't want to wear them. But there's a shortage of those too, by the way, because people are buying those because they've come, they've gotten wise to the fact that, hey, this thin cloth might not protect me from a virus. I'm going to get the other thing. But the thing is that, and I've seen article after article about prevention, and they all say the same thing, which is this: ditch the mask, wash your goddamn hands. Okay, they don't say goddamn hands. I added that. But that's what they say. Wash your hands. Wash your hands after going to the bathroom. Wash your hands after sneezing and coughing. Like thoroughly. Like take the time. You're washing both sides of your hands in between your fingers, your fingernails. People won't do this because it requires effort. And what they're saying is to use soap and water for a minimum of 20 seconds. Or, and I'm not kidding, this was the example. This was a national news article. Roughly twice the length of happy birthday. That's right. So if you need to know how long you need to be washing your hands, sing happy birthday to no one twice. And that's how you're going to time it. That's actually good to know, so that you don't think somebody else in the bathroom singing happy birthday to themselves is not just an insane person. That's good to know, that this is what they've recommended. So if you hear somebody go happy birthday while they're scrubbing their hands like an OCD freak show, they're doing so because that's what they read. So let everybody know, people are not insane. They've just been told to sing happy birthday twice every time they wash their hands. Good to know, right? Well, there you go. Quit hoarding masks. Just wash your hands, man. All right. So I received a message from a listener who asked me, he sent me like an interview article with Justin Bieber, who is saying he's sober now. They asked me, well, do you think this is just a PR stunt or is it legit? Was basically what they asked me. And I can safely say that I don't care. There's no telling. There's no telling. That's, Bieber lives on a planet that none of us will ever be on. Like, it's on a different, he's 25 years old. And it's always, I don't understand when people in their 20s get sober. I don't know how they do it. my hat's off to them if they're legit sober, and I don't know how they maintain it. It's crazy. That is a crazy spot. I guess, you know, it's usually somebody who's been abusing booze and drugs like way early in their teens all the way. So, but it's mind-blowing to me that anyone can do that, because that's not what I did. But in Bieber's on a different in a different world. It could very easily be a nice spin, because the interview is, you know, and I hate to judge somebody, but it, you know, like that, but it's what we do as drug addicts. When somebody, you know, is like, I hit my bottom. Like I did that when I was going to AA meetings early on, court appointed, not voluntary. So I wasn't planning on quitting at the time, but it was like you were just sitting there. Like I went to one meeting one time, and the speaker, there was like somebody who started the meeting. It was like the person who ran the meeting. And then there was a guest speaker. And hang on for a second. The dog was trying to come through the door. I was like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't have a mic for you, Lucas. So, so I was in this speaker meeting, guest speaker, and the woman who was speaking was talking about how she finally hit rock bottom with her drinking, and it was being arrested once for DWI, and it was her only arrest. I was just sitting, and of course I was very judgy in the back going, one DWI, like that in my head. And then like the person running the meeting said afterwards, it was like, be glad you stopped then and you don't have 2 DWIs. And I was in the back of the meeting going, 2 DWIs? I've got 3. You know, that kind of it's very easy to do that when you're just like, wait, that's your bottom? There's way further levels. But I felt the same way reading the Bieber interview, because he was just talking about how, you know, he got sober because he's like, yeah, it got to the point where I was waking up and I'd smoke a blunt and then I'd, pop a pill. It was crazy. Yeah. Crazy how you would take prescription medication after smoking weed. You were out of control, dude. Like, it's just really, I'm like, really? All right. Just seems like a PR spin, but that's the thing, is that everybody has a different, that's probably good for that to be what you consider to be rock bottom. Because it could very well get worse. It's very easy for me to just kind of sit there and he goes, what do you mean you had a drug problem? You didn't even use needles. It's just it's a dumb way of thinking. But short story long, I have no fucking idea. I have no idea if it's legit. I hope it's legit, and I hope his music gets better for it. I don't know. I won't ever know. It kind of made me think what would happen if, because Justin Bieber got sober, what if he starts talking about it and he still maintains his popularity? Because he's got like the second or third most Twitter followers and like the second or third most subscribers to like his YouTube like video channel. Like, imagine him starting a trend. How annoying would that be? Where all of a sudden like straight edge is like way mainstream. Like, yeah, I'm sober too. That kind of shit. Oh man. I don't know if that's a good thing. That would be so annoying. That would suck so bad. It's trendy. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Probably nothing. This could just be a spin right before his tour starts. Didn't his album come out? It's an interesting timing. It's like, yeah, I had to get sober because drugs or something. Anyway, my album's out. Buy my album. So, whatever. All right, guys. Well, one last thing I'd like to talk about this week, excuse me, is the idea. And, of course, when bringing this up, I'm thinking about stand-up comedy because that's my art. That's what I do. But I think that this could be applied to any other performance art, whether it be music, like your band, or whatever the fuck else. I don't know. Just whatever you like to do. And that's it's my advice. You can take it or leave it, but don't pay to perform. Period. Well, not period. There's going to probably be exceptions, but for the, in general, as a good rule, it's a lot of it used to be, don't give it away. Don't do anything for free, but we're at a stage now where let's drop that expectation. But don't pay someone for the opportunity, quote unquote, to perform at whatever thing that they're doing. Now, there are exceptions to this, but what I'm thinking about is this. There are certain people who have started services, and I use the services in quotations, to allow you the privilege, also in quotations, to perform on their venue or their whatever. You'll see this a lot. In comedy, it's festivals. You'll see a lot of comedy festivals that you have to pay an amount of money to submit to apply. And the thing about that is, that is up to you if you think it's worth it. If you've got, $20, $25 that you don't mind throwing away to a festival to apply for it. Like if it's money, if it's worth it to you, it's like, fine, I've got this money. I don't mind throwing it away to perform at this festival that doesn't mean anything. That's up to you. If the pros outweigh the cons kind of a deal, you can go ahead, but just understand this. The two festivals that I'm aware of that still have clout that I've come across, neither one of them take applications. People are selected. People are contacted that they've been that they're invited to come perform. Like the Montreal Just for Laughs Comedy Festival, which I really don't respect that much at this level, but people actually recognize that. They don't, I don't believe, unless they've changed some kind of bullshit, I don't think that they charge you. I don't think you're even able to apply. And I know that there's at least, Moon Tower Comedy Festival here in Austin, and I know of like a couple of others. They do not take money for you to apply. And those actually have some clout versus tons of other ones that I'm aware of, all these other comedy festivals that's how they make their money. And my argument is, if you have to charge performers to submit videos because that's how you make money, because otherwise you're not a draw, maybe you shouldn't exist. That's almost like it's on the same level in my mind as a pyramid scheme, like that same kind of crap. It's the same kind of formula that just I don't get it, and I don't think it's worth it. Do you want to pay that kind of money? Is getting a credit that important? You may have seen him at the Ha Ha Fest in Dubuque. Who gives a shit? At this point, why don't you save your money and make up one name? If it's not that recognizable, why don't you make up a festival? If you really need a credit as a comedian, I don't, or if you need a byline in your band's bio or whatever, your bio as a performer, at this point, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And there's another thing that happened just recently here in Austin is there's this guy or group of guys, I believe, who moved here from California and is basically pulling this stunt, that's this business model that is apparently popular in LA. And the reason that it's popular, this is what it is. It's a room where it's an open mic type style, but you sign up, but you pay them for a spot. But you're paid a spot so that you don't, the payment is a convenience fee because you've got a lot of, you've got a busy day and you don't have time to wait around. Because if you go to an open mic, like a regular open mic, and you sign up and you're new or whatever, you could be going up like 23rd, which puts you waiting around for 2 hours, and you're expected to buy a drink. People don't, but you're waiting around at a venue where you can buy, you're buying drinks because you're waiting around, and it's like, how about instead of that, you pay us a fee and we'll get you in so you can get stage time in front of other people who also got suckered into paying us. And you're in and out in less than an hour. And it sounds like a convenience fee, but really what it is it's people trying to prey on young comics, young performers who have nothing to offer, who do not give a shit about the comedy scene and about being part of comedy, being part of the camaraderie here. And they don't understand that, the way that open mics are set up is kind of annoying, but it's part of the process. It's part of the networking and getting to know other comedians and just and part of growth. And it's just odd to me because you have to, it's basically just trying to prey upon, and the people, and the reason it's so popular in LA is so it's so hard to get up. There's so many assholes in LA trying to make it. We all moved here. We're all going to make it. No, you're not. And then there's there's a lack of space. So there's these people who are opportunists who are like, I know, I'll open up this space in the back of my van, and we'll have an open mic in the back of my van. This particular one that they tried this in Austin, and they're still trying, and I don't remember the name of it now because they've changed their name. They've tried to rebrand like 3 different times, and everyone just shat on them online, just totally, to the point where how people's gut instincts is to support the underdog whenever there's like a pile on. So many people shit on this guy that other people were starting to defend him, not really because it was a good idea, but just like, hey, you know what? Fuck those guys. And I totally get that. Whenever you see too many people like ganging up on somebody, like this mob mentality, even if it's right, you're like, you know what? Fuck all those people. Totally get that. But let's not forget, this guy's an opportunist, doesn't give a shit about comedy, doesn't give a shit about the art form, and is just trying to make a buck, and not in a good way. Totally bad business plan. Like they're trying to make money, and it's setting up this. It's like a comedy club room, but it's not. It's in a fucking dentist office. It's like in a former dentist office in an office building upstairs at, in the, it's not in the washateria section. It's in the other one right above a medical office. Like, it's like, why would anyone think, hey, do you want to go see a comedy show? It's in a dentist office off of Olin Road. Like, it's just sketchy, And my biggest thing was that the way it works is you pay, but then you can't leave. And I'm like, fuck you, I'll leave when I want. I don't like anyone telling me I have to stay. So I know I rambled on, but basically the whole idea is don't pay for it. Don't pay to perform. Another exception, I would give you an exception, is if there's a legit comedy contest or music contest, if you know it's legit and you know what you're getting into, I understand paying for an application fee to apply for a contest, because a contest is not a showcase. But if somebody's lying and saying it's a showcase, like you can tell when you read it that, is this a competition? Are you paying to compete? Because I'm going to be doing that, because I'm paying an application fee in a couple of months to perform at the what's called the Funniest Person in Austin contest. And the reason that I'm doing it is because I'm going to be getting a video of my performance in front of a big crowd, and I wanted to get a nice video. So I know what I'm getting out of it. Also, it's almost like you're paying for a participation trophy to be part of this thing. This is like this big event that everybody hangs out at the comedy club and is like, it's a big competition, because it really is it's a legit competition. So I don't, that to me is not paying to perform. It is, but it's a comp. You know what you're getting into. I don't get people trying. It's like bringer shows where the only way you can get on stage is if you bring people and they all spend money. That's a fucking scam. Like if you're forced to get other people to pay in order for you to do something. I mean, at this point, why don't you just perform in your living room and invite your friends over? You know what I mean? Don't let people prey on your aspirations for an easy buck, because they can't create anything of their own. Like this fucking asshole moving here from California. What, you couldn't make it there, so you decided to come back here and goes, oh, I'll fucking scam these yokels. That guy can suck my dick. But that's basically whatever you want to do. I mean, there's the reason that you shouldn't do it. It's not the late 90s. It's not the early aughts anymore. You don't have to only perform in certain places. You have other, with the internet and YouTube, social media, you can network easier. You can contact people. You can set up your own venues. There's no reason that you can't. Don't pay somebody else for your own exposure. That's all I'm saying on that one. But John, what about comedy classes? What about instructional classes teaching you to do comedy? They charge for like over $100. What's your opinion on that? God damn it. I don't know. I don't give a shit. That's going too far. I don't know. I know it helps some people. I think it's way too much money to pay, but that's on you. If you're, what can I say? If you've got parents that are going to give you money to go learn stand up in a room at an improv theater, man, whatever. I'm just saying, somebody trying to make a quick buck off of you, tell them to fuck off. That's it. All right, you guys. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next week. This has been, yes, I'm still sober, and I'm John Rabin. Later. Gotta wear my headphones with a pistol. Gotta wear my headphones with a pistol. Gotta wear my headphones with a pistol. Gotta wear my headphones. Gotta wear my headphones with a pistol. Gotta wear my headphones with a pistol. Gotta wear my headphones with a pistol. Gotta wear my maybe now is the time. Now I'm sick of your life. Leaning back your side while blacking out tears. I can watch the lightning from your eyes. Let's run. Let's run.
it right.